Hey guys, Jay Eaker here. Saw your thing on Facebook saying that you were looking for people to audition for your spots at the Mile High. I got some ideas. So I thought I'd mention them. I think the topic of talk would be, or the title would be something like, "Pain is not the problem, it's the solution." And that's kind of seems to be a theme that's showing up in my work these days. I think, it's like the whole culture, whether it's certainly the mainstream culture, is all about trying to help us get out of pain, sort of try to get away from that. But even when it gets down into the more alternative modalities like chiropractic, we're still chasing pain. A client comes in and they're in pain. It's like, oh, want to help them get out of pain. And I've felt myself anyway, every visit feeling like, oh, are they going to say that the pain has gone away? Please say that the pain has gone away. And I think, sort of statistically speaking, chiropractic is probably one of the best techniques for helping people with pain, as it turns out. And that's one level of health. Health is defined as a what is health defined as? What's that definition? A state of physical, mental, and emotional well-being, not merely a lack of symptoms. So that's kind of, being out of pain, just like one level of health. But there's more that's possible. And I think, that's what chiropractic was designed for. I think where it started anyway was the more that's possible. Was it D.D. Palmer that said that the purpose of chiropractic is to connect man, the physical, with man, the spiritual, or something like that? So that involves pain, but just because someone's out of pain doesn't mean that their spiritual nature and their physical nature is any closer together. And what I found is that pain is a portal. It is a window. It takes us to the next level it's a window that we go through that takes us to the next level of our evolution, to the next level of our growth and development. It is the place where the physical and the spiritual unite, is my experience in working with folks. And usually, people come in, like, even though that's my focus, people still come in for reasons that they come into most chiropractors, and usually that involves pain. And so, but I guess when I'm, interested in sort of connecting man, the spiritual, with man, the physical, and I'm just thinking, I know we're not supposed to use the word, in Colorado, we're not supposed to use the word spiritual in our marketing and things. And so I don't know, thinking about you guys, I don't know if that's an issue at these talks. If you can use the word spiritual at these talks, I would think you could. Anyway, if I'm that's my perspective, if that's the lens that I'm looking through to help people connect the spiritual with the physical, when people come into me and they have pain, I'm interested in why now? Why, often this pain is something that's been around on and off for a while. It's not necessarily something that just started. Usually it's kind of something that's been happening for on and off for a while, and they've, lived with it for a while on and off. Suddenly they decide, I'm going to try to get some help. Um, and if they have found me, because it's what I do, I assume that they're wanting, some part of them anyway, wants help, uh, connecting man, the physical, with man, the spiritual, uh, you know, and so I want to know why now. And the why now, if as we talk about it, usually starts unfolding something that's happening in their life. And what I notice is that, there's usually there's some transition going on in a person's life. I find that often it's during these times of transition that people's pains come to the surface. And I have ideas about why I think that's the case. But uh, usually, again, there's some transition they're going through. I notice that there are seem to be sort of stages of development in life. I gotta connect a certain number of dots to learn to walk and to talk. But those developmental stages, they continue on. There's puberty, and I notice I meet a lot of people between the ages of 28 and 35. It seems like there's some developmental stage there where people are sort of really figuring out who they are, and what their purpose is, what their gifts are, and differentiating from their parents, the way that their parents lived, and they're kind of trying to sort that out. Maybe they're thinking about having a family of their own, or they're thinking about getting in a serious relationship, or they're thinking about having a family. This seem to be big junctures in a person's life that tend to bring stuff to the surface to be met. On the other end of that, when I see often run into people or meet people when the kids are out of maybe out of the house, and they decide that now is the time. They've been attending to their kids for so many years, putting all their energy into that, and they decide that now there's some room and some space for themselves to attend to their own healing. And so those are big, that's another big sort of developmental stage, I think, where people move from sort of the mode of life where they're making kids to the mode of life where their job is to kind of like share their wisdom. They're becoming elders, I guess. They're sharing their wisdom with their job is to share their wisdom with the tribe, the people around them, all the wisdom that they've gained from their life's experience. And I think, there's certain patterns in our body that get stored in there that say, the way that we were doing life before it worked for then, but it was useful and necessary then. But, for this next stage of our life, for this next project that we're going to be working on in life, this way of doing ourselves is not going to work. And we need to sort of unfold that stuff. We need to come into relationship with what we've been pushing down in there, because it needs to be out in the open for this next stage of our development. My experience is that it's then that life starts to, as life pushes that stuff to the surface, pushes that energy in us to the surface, often there's discomfort involved, there's pain involved. And when I get people, talking, and, are paying close attention to the sort of charged, maybe there's some things that seem charged that they're talking about, kind of following those threads. Because there's emotion behind that. And it seems that emotion is really important. I think one of the purposes of pain is to bring emotion to the surface, because there's emotions we need to feel. So, um, uh, that's yeah, it seems bringing emotion to the surface is important. So I usually, make sure that I attend to that, let people feel that emotion, make sure that they don't skip over it, and give them permission to feel that. Maybe put their hands on the part of their body where they feel that, energy moving in their body, and let that unfold. And, you know, oddly enough, we go through that process with someone like on the first visit sometimes, and they feel in their bodies that something, they feel in their being that something has changed. And usually they forget about the pain that they may have come in with. And often when I ask them, okay, now how's that back pain that you were talking about? They've let this emotion come to the surface, and they they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about it. And it's not there, or it's significantly different. So, um, emotion seems important, and pain, again, proves to be sort of a window, a portal that takes us to the next level of our evolution. And so I really don't think, if we want to sort of connect man the spiritual with man the physical, like D.D. Palmer said, I think we need to really not try to get rid of pain. It behooves us to not try to get rid of pain. So that's the gist of it. And, I'm open to suggestion, of course, but to conclude, I think I would maybe lead people through a short meditation. That's how I would end, bringing their attention. If maybe they have pain in their body, maybe people in the audience have pain in their body, bring their attention to their body. If there's some discomfort there, notice where it is, what the boundaries are. And often things kind of start to unfold out of that, as an example of how to go towards the pain and what might unfold. So that's my thoughts. Thanks. Have a great day.